Hey yo, it's your girl P, hoping that everyone is doing amazing. Karibuni sana in our today's video. Thank you so much for stopping by and thank you for clicking it. My good name is Polly J. If you're new here, karibu sana. If you are a returning subscriber, I'm in the gang. Karibuni sana, and I love you all, guys. So first of all, thank you so much for always coming back to watch my videos, and also thank you so much for your continued support. So in our today's video, I want us to talk about something that I never got the chance to be taught when I was back in Kenya or before I even come to Gulf. Those are the questions that many people always have, and many people would like to know what to, like, things you should know before you come to Gulf. There are so many people who never know, like, how is Gulf, what to expect, what not to expect, what to do, what not to do, all those things. So if you have been having all these questions, or maybe you want to go to Gulf or you want to come to Gulf and you know nothing about it, then this is your video. So stay tuned, watch it from the beginning to the very end, give it a thumbs up, share, and also do not forget to subscribe. So guys, let's go to the video. Oh my god.
Welcome.
So guys, I would like to talk about few things, but to start with, I would like to start with the major thing that has always given me stress. Let me just say it stressed me. It always stressed me when it comes to that time. Am I making sense? I think so. So the first thing that you should know, it's the hot weather. I won't talk about cold season because they're just few months, but let's talk about summer. Gulf countries, you have to know, like, it is a desert. This is a desert, and you know what to expect when you go to a desert. A desert, that means that place is extremely hot. Like, it's not like the weather that we are used back in our countries. Like for me, Kenya, like, our weather is very nice, not hot, not cold. Even when it's hot, like, it's not too much hot, but here it is very much hot. Like today it's 40 degrees. It's still in the morning, like it's still 11 a.m, but the heat is very high. So you can imagine when the heat is high, it's very hot. So that is something that you should know. At least when you're packing and you're saying, like, now I'm packing my bags, I'm packing my clothes, I'm packing this and that, and I am going to work in Gulf, you should also consider that the weather is very hot. So that means you don't need warm clothes, like you don't need heavy clothes to wear during that season. Let's talk about cold season. I will only talk about where I know, but there's some places here in Gulf which are extremely cold, like Saudi Arabia is always cold when it's winter. Also Lebanon is cold, but where I am in Dubai, it's not cold. Like, it is manageable, just same weather as we have back in Kenya. When we say it's cold, I always find it like same because it doesn't stress me. I'm not too much cold. When I wear like a jumper, I'm just fine. So it's just to make you, or maybe just to prepare you, for you to know, like, the kind of weather and anything that you will find here. So we have catered about the summer season and the cold season, but the summer season has always been my worst. It's like that time when you're sweating extra, the sun is too hot, like you can't go outside, it's too hot. So yeah, but we thank God we manage. So another thing that you should know, and something that you should be prepared for, is the language barrier. Like for instance, let's say it's your first time you're coming here in the Gulf, you've never been here, you've never have experience of maybe working with Arabs, or maybe you've never been in touch with people who speak Arabic. For you, and being a first timer, it will be like a hard time, not like too much hard time, because nowadays there are Arabs who can speak English, other Arabs who can understand you, or maybe people you can talk and understand with, but like before, if let's say back in the days before I even come, like let's say like 2010, there back in the days, people who used to come from, let's say for instance, in Africa or maybe anywhere else you're going to work in Gulf, they used to have hard time, especially for them to understand the language, because It's only Arabic, like no English, no Swahili, no nothing, no our mother tongues or nothing. So what you expect, or maybe what you do, is just for you to speak the language that you are used to, and they don't know your language, neither do you know their language. Do you understand? So what they used to do is like they used to communicate in sign languages. And remember, these people cannot write, they cannot write a note for you. If they write a note for you, you will end up like reading it in Arabic, which is something that you don't know. Then remember also, back in the days, like technology was not like nowadays, whereby maybe someone can write something for you in Arabic and you can translate it in English. You get it? It was hard. But nowadays, at least things are a bit better for us. Even if they cannot speak fluent English, they can try, you know. And even if it is a broken English, it is something that you can connect and understand. So if you're coming here, just be ready and be sure that you will come and encounter some people like that. Or maybe you will come and find colleagues who have worked here maybe for some years and who can understand their bosses. Now they will be the one to be translating maybe the language to you, or maybe translating to you what the boss is saying, or maybe who you're communicating with is saying. I think I make sense about the language, about everything. I think I make sense. So yeah, you should also remember that. Another thing that you should also put in mind, especially for us I'm not an Arab, especially for us Africans, something else that you should know before coming here. Here we don't have githeri, here we don't have ugali, here we don't have, I don't know, all those foods that we cook in Africa. Here it's only rice. Today rice and chicken, today rice and meat, tomorrow rice and I don't know what, tomorrow rice from January to December. So just be ready and remember that, okay, it's not like a must for you to keep on eating these foods. If you are given an opportunity to cook your own food, like you can cook the foods that we cook back in home, or maybe back in our countries. But if there's not that chance, then that means like you're going to eat rice until you go back to your home. Okay, it is not bad, but you know, for us, like we are used to other foods whereby maybe rice we'll cook maybe once in a week or maybe twice in a week, and then the rest of the days we have another type of food like we can eat. Like I can say maybe the foods here are so light comparing with what we cook back in Africa. Like for us, our foods are heavy. Something that you eat maybe at lunch and maybe still at 6 p.m. or maybe 7 p.m. you're still full. But here maybe you eat your lunch at 12, but by 3 or 4 you're still hungry, you know, because the foods are very light. And for us, this is not the kind of food that we are used to. So it is something that you should be aware of, something that you should be ready for, because I know that you might wonder like, hey manze, rice daily, it can't, but you will survive. We have survived, we have gotten used to, and yeah, you will also get used to. Okay, so something else, that was my number 3 point. Now going forward to the fourth thing that I would like you to know is about let's say like the detergents and everything in terms of cleaning and all that stuff. Whether you're going to work in a company, whether you're going to work as a housemaid or whatever you're doing, you know, by the end of the day, it doesn't matter where you're going to work, where you're going to be staying, like, because the detergents are one and the same in Gulf, like where you're working from. For instance, let me just give you an example with the powder soaps, liquid soaps, and maybe Jik versus Clorox. Okay, so the powder soaps, when you compare here and back at home, you'll find that powder soaps here are very strong comparing to what we use back at home. Because for us, like, you will use powder soap, either Ariel or maybe either Omo, Starlight, any kind of soap, and your hands will still be soft. But here you will use powder soap, touch it with your hands, but afterwards you'll find that like maybe your hands are getting kind of rough. But of course we have moisturizers, like you have to buy moisturizers that will keep moisturizing your hands. Another thing, the liquid soaps also the same, like everything here is a bit stronger comparing with back at home and what we are used to make, or maybe what we are used to do, because I believe that the water here is also different from what we use, and maybe that is why like every product or maybe every detergent is a bit stronger than what we are normally used to use. I think I make sense. So that is something that you should know. Now, when we talk about Clorox versus Jik is the bleaching stuff. Like when you're cleaning, like let's say white clothes, maybe they have stains and you put in it, it can clearly clean it. Okay, here we have, and also back in our countries we have, like I know in Kenya we have Topex, we also have Jik. I don't know if there's another brand in Kenya that we can use, but believe me, our products back in Kenya, they are all friendly. Like you can use them and you cannot feel anything, but you cannot use Clorox bare hands. If you use it, like you can barely use it for 2 months, and Fululizo you cannot, because here, remember, washing, you can maybe wash daily, or maybe you will have to use it because of washing, cleaning and all that stuff. So it's something that you'll be using now, like oftenly. So you need to have gloves, and not just the simple gloves but the heavy gloves, to make sure that it doesn't get to touch your body, because if it does, after some time you'll have some reactions. Okay, you'll have some reactions. Maybe you'll start itching, scratching your hands, or maybe anywhere that you get in touch with this Clorox. So for us, I think we have, we have products, yes, but they are kind of friendly comparing to here. So that is also something that you should be aware of, and something that you should know, so that when you come and maybe you get it, you will know like how to use it, or maybe you will remember that you were told something about that, and it's something that you should watch when you are using it. Also, something else that I would also like to add, machines that we use here. Remember, back in home, unless if you're coming from a posh family, if you're coming maybe from a high standard family, you understand. But for me, I never get to use machines back in Kenya, so I started using them here. You'll get to see a difference between back at home and here, because you'll have to start learning how to use different machines for cooking, machines for everything, cleaning and all that stuff. So when you come here, also you should also be open-minded and also be ready to learn, because we all need to learn, and we also need to use these things, because at some point I always feel like they make our work easier. Because imagine all the kind of jobs that you're doing, and you have to clean, you have to wash, you have to do this. Like the washing machine, it will always save your time, because when you're doing something else, you put clothes in the washing machine, when you come back they are dry, you hang them. It makes things easier. So it's something that you should learn, something that you should train yourself. And as I said, be open-minded, be ready to work, be ready to understand everything. If you don't know anything, just remember, it is always good to ask. If you know nothing about what you're doing, usikose kuambia mtu eti I don't understand this. Just make sure that you ask. Even if you know, it is always good to confirm, is it this, okay, is it, or should I use it this way, or how should I use it? I think that way everything will just be okay. And this is just a part one. We have a lot of things, and I have a lot of things to tell you, and things that you should be knowing, and things that you should be ready when you're coming here. And maybe all those stuff, I will talk about them in the next video. So this was just part one. This was just like an introduction. I will make it a series, because we have a lot of things to talk about. So if you like this video, just give it a thumbs up, share, yes. So do not forget to share this video, like it, and also subscribe if you haven't. Thank you so much. Duty is calling, and I'll be back in the next part. See you, and bye.